Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ais Amalin binti Muhammad, and for today's video, I'll be presenting about my first assignment under the topic Evaluation of the Built Environment under the subject Quran Sunnah and Building Environment within the matrix number 12-01064, monitored by Dr. Nur Shala binti Abdul Latif. So the objective of this assignment is to evaluate the Total Planning and Development Guideline (TPD) of my case study, which is my own house and its neighborhood area that must possess the three main principles, which is the relationship between man to creator, man to environment, and man to man. In regards to the TPD guideline, whether it is fully abide to the concept of Al-Fatiha. On every three main principle, there are sub-aspects that we will look out more on this presentation today. Without any further ado, let's begin with the first slide. On the first slide is about the first main principle of the Total Planning and Development Guideline that can be linked to the Al-Fatiha concept. In overall aspect, the aspect that can be pointed out in my case study involved in the criteria of special planning that reach for the respect of knowledge and conscience to the creator, justice, compassion, united, trustworthy, and credibility. This is the key plan of my house, viewed from the satellite. As you can see, my neighborhood and side area has a city center for people to earn knowledge of both Ukhrawi and Dunyawi knowledge. Kids and students are closer to the schools to earn knowledge of scientific and fiqh in two different types of schools here. Those of Muslim and non-Muslim children may get to the Sekolah Kebangsaan to earn a knowledge about scientific, and Muslim children will further their study about Islamic knowledge indeed at Sekolah Agama. As the location of the Sekolah Agama and the Sekolah Kebangsaan is very new to their location house, they can easily access to the institution. As for the elderly, they usually go for a Quran lesson at Bandar Rinchin Mosque and do ibadah, which is a stone throw away from my house and their house as well. Therefore, this planning and development making the neighborhood area fulfill with the concept of Al-Fatiha to make a city center has the knowledge institution center, making it a top priority for a development of Ummah propagation for the Ummah to get closer to Allah better. Next, as for the respecting for knowledge and conscious to creator, my house is actually fully abide to the principle of Al-Fatiha under the principle of the relationship between man and creator. It is because the living room area is particularly used and usually used for household to perform a Jama'ah prayer, especially during a special occasion such as Tarawih prayer, Salat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, Salat Hari Raya Aidil Adha, and Salat Fardu. And this prayer hall actually has gathered everyone to get reunite again to perform and sujud to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. And to be conscious to the creator, having a wide window for each special area to view the green nature from inside of the house to the outside of the house has actually give a chance for the house member to get closer to see and witness Allah's creation, the blue sky, the greenery of the grass, and then the existing of the neighborhood and human around the neighborhood area. Meanwhile, for the first floor plan, in every bedroom, certain family members having their own study corner and their own room to gain knowledge, and also a bookshelf. The existing family area is used for an open and public office space for the household member to settle down with works and a place to earn knowledge, especially during COVID-19 pandemic, where online classes is held and respecting the knowledge throughout gaining the knowledge. Therefore, the conscious to the creator has actually become more greater as the new balcony is placed facing the view of the neighborhood area to view the outside world and the sky clearly to cherish Allah's creation upon the environment. Next aspect is the conservation of environment. The courtyard area is used for the preservation of the environment plantation by planting many trees such as lemon tree, lemongrass trees, chili trees, aloe vera tree, guava tree, papaya tree, mango tree, and curry leaf tree. This has actually led to the compassion of grateful to Allah's blessing for human on earth for giving a land to develop a tree that can actually fulfill human own benefit to stay alive. Allah poured down the rain for the growth of tree and can be more conscious of the creator. So here is the courtyard next to the kitchen area, and there is a coconut tree, a banana tree, guava tree at the outside of the house, near of the gate. Therefore, we can actually see and observe ourselves how beautiful it is, the creation of Allah, in terms of the environment, if we conserve them properly and do not manage them in regards of our own interest. Next aspect is unity. Living area is a gathering area where the unification of family members and guests, and as a public area with an open space concept on a ground floor level. This particular area is actually a welcoming area for the guests when the guests come to the house, especially during a special occasion. So the dining area is actually a place for a unification of family members as well. It is because the dining area is a public space for the guests to come and feel invited by the unification and the connection between the family members and the guests together and having dinner and lunch time together. Next, on the first floor of the house, a unification place is actually abide in this area. It is because the existing family area is used for an open and public office space for the household member to settle down with work, earning knowledge as a place of unification to look out for each family member's development progress. Study corner concept has no boundaries, separated by wall, and uses an open space concept on the first level of the floor to enhance connectivity among family members. So on the first floor of the house, it has a mini living room for people of household to hang out when the guests come around and gather at the ground level of the living room. Therefore, the privacy can be earned and comfort can be reached by house members. Next is justice and compassion. Toilets are placed in public area that has set boundaries wall to separate this spatial area. Water closet sits opposite Qibla direction. The shared toilet were separated with two doors that every room have its own privacy. Storeroom has its own space to keep the house clean and organized. In our compassion, wet kitchen, dry kitchen, and dining area are close to each other and placed next to the wide country yard as to make human realize and appreciate and grateful with foods that we able to eat and be able to live given by Allah as a ni'mah in the world. Last but not least is trustworthy and credibility. Every family member has its own room of their own. 4 siblings has their own room, including parents in their master bedroom. Every bedroom have their own bathroom. The trustworthy have been embedded in the house for each other. Next principle is the relationship between man and environment, which include cleanliness and beauty, preservation of the environment, and sustainable natural resources. For the cleanliness and beauties, dry kitchen, wet kitchen, and dining area are separated between two different walls to ensure the cleanliness of the house when preparing foods. Wet kitchen is a private area, only allows few people to come in. To ensure the effectiveness of the cleanliness, the public dining area is separated from dry and wet kitchen. When guests come to the house, comfort of the guests can be earned and the comfort of the household to prepare the food also can be earned. The beauty flow of 3 special areas are defined to the public and semi-public and private area that fills in with the function. Next is the cleanliness and beauty, where the big dustbin is placed far from a house. Local authority will collect and the garbage every week. And then the landscape around my house will always be trimmed by local authority to cut short the grass. Next is preservation of the environment and sustainable natural resources. The courtyard area is used for the preservation of the environment plantation by planting many trees. So this will bring back and balance the ecosystem and environment, become more sustainable and sustainable of the house area, and therefore human will be protected by the thunder and storm during rainy day that usually happen in my neighborhood area. Trees act as a sound buffer for the occupant in the house. That is actually promotes a space for the plant to live and do photosynthesis that actually gives a benefit for the human and household itself. Last but not least is the relationship between man to man. As For the privacy and division space, the porch was separated between the building structure and the setback of the house, where the household were located from the outside visitor or people from looking inside of the house. They're only private for the household in terms of visual privacy. And then the dry kitchen and wet kitchen and dining area is separated in 3 different special areas to give a public and semi-public as well as private area for the household and the guest separation. Meanwhile, on the first floor rooms are not facing each other to ensure the privacy of the household circulation, and the water closet were placed not facing the toilet door to give some privacy for the occupants. And the value of encouraging interaction and acquaintance can be reached in the living area, because living area is a place that often meets a publicity among household and the guests during festival to reunite and encouraging one another. The area also as a place for the household rest and refresh themselves after had a busy and hectic day from work, to refresh and restart again the spirits for the very next busy day. And the dining area also work as a public space for the guests to come and feel invited by the unification to develop a good conversation upon the development in life. On the first floor, many of the house members stays at the first floor of the house. Therefore, the value of encouraging can be developed at the mini living room while resting, and the new balcony in the right place for people to gather for private conversation, because it is located far away from public area to have a depth conversation of life. Next is respecting the right of individual. The bedroom 3 and bedroom 2 wants to have their own study table, and besides, every room on first floor has its own bathroom. Therefore, they can keep their right of privacy without having to share the same toilet door. Next is peace and security. The house is secluded with wall gate and high gate lock. Automatic gate can only be accessed by the household, as the neighborhood do not have security guard. So anyone cannot be accessed inside the house, as the automatic gate has already secluded the security of the house. And the house is secure with the automatic high gate with huge water drain is separated to avoid robbery happen in house. As for the consultation, the living area is chosen as a perfect place for a consult session among family members because of its open space and public area where people will gather around. Last but not least is the conclusion based on Al-Fatiha. On the left table shown the percentage of the result from total planning and development observed in my house, show the total percentage of each aspect that fulfill with the concept of Al-Fatiha. Here, the principle of man to creator possess higher percentage than overall aspect are fulfilled and scored 100%. Meanwhile, man to environment score 67% and man to man score 80% below the first principle. Here, we can conclude that the point of man and creator are maximum. Therefore, the aspect to Rububiyah in Al-Fatiha are fully abide, which is to use the shelter and the spatial arrangement that fulfill Madinah in there to submit to Allah, to remember Him and remember His blessing in terms of family we own. And then, the house have successfully reached the concept of total planning doctrine that comes forward more for the relationship with the Creator. From here, we can see that the aspect of economy and effective of resources under the principle of man to environment are unsuccessfully achieved in reaching the Al-Fatiha guidance of TPD, as well as the cooperation, sensitivity, and mutual aspects under the principle of man to man. In conclusion, there are still left behind in my house that I need to enhance more in the future, so I can earn the type of building evaluation that comes along with the guidance of Al-Fatiha for a better building environment. I think that's all for my presentation for today. Thank you very much.